Hi, welcome and good morning to Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. The Afcon semi-final edition of Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube, and of course, everything in terms of updates and the preview of Chelsea Football Club versus Aston Villa. And there is a lot to unpack for you here. If you've not subscribed to the channel, I entreat you to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. It's imperative that you do so. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notification. Let us hear from you in the comment section. Tell us what you think. Is there anything that we do over here that you're not excited about? Is there something that we do that you love that you want us to keep on doing? What don't you like about our broadcast so far? We want to hear from you. It has been such an amazing and a wonderful journey to have you here on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. And then, of course, thank you very much for choosing us. Chelsea has a big game tonight in the FA Cup game against Aston Villa. Given everything that's going on around Chelsea, we'll tell you about Mauricio Pochettino's post-match press conference, pre-match press conference, that he did yesterday. We'll talk about the team that possibly and what to expect tactically and even on the field of play for Chelsea Football Club. And then, of course, we start by delving into the African Cup of Nations. Nigeria play against South Africa, 5 p.m. Then there's the host nation against the DRC later in the evening. So that is it. Again, if you're not subscribed, pause, subscribe to the channel. If you're not turn on notification, to subscribe and turn on notification, and in there do choose all. My name is Fiifi-Manfred. This is Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Let us get into it. So let's start with the African Cup of Nations. And if you look at everything that's going on in the African Cup of Nations, the kind of surprises that have gone on, I think that generally everything has been near perfect. Officiating, the sight and scenes in Abidjan, in Boaké, in San Pedro, in all the other parts of Ivory Coast, and the things that they've done there, it has been brilliant. Everything that they've done has been very good organization. Everything has been spot on in there, and I think that the Ivorian Authority has done a very good job. The local organizing committee has done a very good job, but more so even on the part of CAF, with things like refereeing, which has also been at the highest level. The refereeing that we've seen in the African Cup of Nations has been some of the best as it stands now. And you can understand why almost everybody on social media is asking a lot of the people who follow European football to turn to the African Cup of Nations and look at some of the quality refereeing in there, in the use of VAR, even the refereeing on the field of play, the center referee, and every other thing. Communication has been spot on. And that's exactly why we are here. In there, I think that the 4 best teams thus far. Maybe 3 of the best teams, but not necessarily the 4th one, which is the host nation. But in every tournament, there's that fairy tale story. The fairy tale story of the team that kept on growing in the competition, that believed that after they died at some point in time, they were going to come in and win. I think that's the story of the Ivorian national team, the Elephants of the Ivory Coast, and where they've come from near death, losing 4-0 to Equatorial Guinea, who were group leaders in their group, going on to the round of 16, not seeing, waiting to Morocco before they qualified. Then the round of 16, they play against Senegal, who were the defending champions. They were almost down and out. Then they come through, get the win. And then later in the game, they come to play against one of their arch rivals in Mali. Tough game to play in that. They hold their own. They're down by a man. They're down by a goal. Hold everything together. Come back and get a win. It has been instrumental. It has been very, very instrumental for the Ivorians. And I think that they believe that they have what it takes that's going to get them to where they are going to, given the quality of the play that they have, given the quality of how they are playing, given the quality of exactly what they want to do in their team. And I think that slowly, the Ivorian will get to the point where they think that maybe they've done some good stuff. But the game against the DRC is going to be different. Mind you, the DRC have won 2 African Cup of Nations. All 2 were against teams. They met teams who were the host nation in the semi-final. All 2. They played against teams who were host nation in the semi-final. And it is what it is in terms of that. They have the history to do it. It shows that that's not going to be easy for the Ivory Coast. The game that they're going to play against Ivory Coast is not going to be an easy one. I've seen the DRC play against Morocco in the group stages. It was a tough game. And for somebody to hold their own against the World Cup semi-finalists, and the fact that they are North Africans. We know how difficult it is to play against North Africans, even from the physical and tactical point of view on the continent, and how they held their own against them, managed to get a draw against them, then went on to play against Egypt, who also won the tournament favorite at some point in time, beating them on penalty shootouts, holding their own, the stamina, the endurance, the physique of the DRC that kept them in throughout the game to the penalty shootout. It tells you the quality that they have in their ranks. They are coming against an Ivorian side who, for me, had their biggest test against the Senegalese, where they went against a highly technical midfield, but they were able to beat them on a physical point of view. Again, for me, the biggest one is the one against Mali, where NS5 had to tweak something. And when they went down by a goal to 0, they knew that they had to go long with Sabhela. And with Halle, they were able to hold up play, bring other players like Adingra, and then Adingra into play, Diakite into play, and then they managed winning the game in extra time. And that is the quality of the coach in the dugout, the fact that they believe as a people, and the fact that the players tend to put in a shift every time they're on the field of play. So it's an evenly matched game, but I just think that Ivory Coast edges it slightly in that game that they are going to play. The Ivorians, I think that they have the slight upper hand in that game, and I think that they're going to go through. Then, to the big one, Nigeria versus South Africa. All sorts of rivalry. I mean, in entertainment, in comments, in economics, in politics, everything. These two countries have a go at each other at almost every point in time. And you look at the Nigerian team, and then you know that given where they are, they have come of age. I think that they are very strong with that three back, with the kind of way they play with and without the ball. The fact that they've conceded less chances, they've had less shots against them on target. They've had less possession, but they've controlled the game without the ball most of the times. And against the South African side that are hugely technical and can break down almost everybody. They did against the Moroccans. They tore them apart. They split them into two. Against the Nigerians, they can't. Now, because the Nigerians are more solid at the back. They are excellent box defenders. They're also very good defending in structure. It also sets the tone for that game. I just think that Nigeria will edge that game as well in there. Now, Chelsea are playing against Aston Villa. I mean, a very, very big game in the FA Cup, coming off the back of two losses. Or the back against Liverpool loss, and the loss against Wolverhampton at home. The Liverpool at home, Liverpool away was seen to be, yes, a dangerous game, a difficult game to play. But then coming to play at the Stamford Bridge and losing the way Chelsea lost by 4-2 against the Wolverhampton Wanderers side at home was the peak of the stress. And there have been a lot of news about Mauricio Pochettino possibly going to lose his job. The fact that where Chelsea are, they aren't in a good place, and they may be, the owners may be forced to think through things. Yesterday, there were news that some players don't believe in the Chelsea project again, which I find a sham and a facade, which it's a lie. I don't think that report is an accurate report. That players like Enzo Fernandez are looking at getting a new club, and they have to wait till the summer and whatnot. I mean, people are just doing a lot of guesswork, and then when they do the guesswork, they hope that everything goes well for them. So that's it with the likes of Enzo Fernandez and the team and everything. But yesterday, Mauricio Pochettino's pre-match press conference, I mean, he backed his players again. He said he has a quality group. He thinks that they are young, they need some time. This morning, Didier Drogba has also spoken about Chelsea and why he thinks that they need some more time. People need to be patient with them. They need to be calm. They are going to go together. I mean, every Chelsea fan that asks about whether Mauricio Pochettino is the man to lead Chelsea forward has a valid point, because he has made huge tactical errors. But again, on the flip side, look at it in the context of Chelsea and where they've come from. If you compare the number of games that Graham Potter did play for Chelsea and him, Potter is failing by just the point that he stands now. Potter, of course, Potter didn't see the end of the season. But then again, Chelsea ended up 12 last season. Pochettino believes that he can do a better job this season and then push them forward. I mean, it's fingers crossed. But I think that in the game against Villa today, one thing that every Chelsea fan will be looking out to see, one thing that every Chelsea fan will be looking out to see or find or make sure that he sees in the team is the fact that they want to see them put in a fight. They want to see the boys put in a shift. Aston Villa away is a tough game. At Villa, it's a difficult. Villa Park is a difficult place to go. The fans will not make it easy. Unai Emery is, of course, one of the best managers set up his teams, and even when they play at home, it's an exciting team to play against. Pochettino would have to dig deep into his tactical acumen, get the best setup, go into a game. You can't afford to be making mistakes. And people are speaking about Chelsea going into a back three so that they can prevent the team from conceding a lot more of the goals. That is an option. But then again, I think that my first point is about what do you do in build up, and the wrong role of Enzo Fernandez moving from deep and going up top is a big deal for me. There is a need to make sure that you control build up with Enzo still staying in the first phase and moving as and when the ball moves, not just once he touches the ball and he moves away, then the ball will still be in centuries and Chelsea will be valued. Because today there's going to be John McGinn in the middle of the park. There's going to be Douglas Luis in the middle of the park. There is going to be Kamara. All of these tough, hard tacklers in the middle of the park are going to be there for Villa. And you need to win duels. You need to be active. You need to be physical. And it's a gamer today. Physicality is going to be a game. Another one on it. It's just going to be like the Liverpool away game where physicality is on hand. The fans are against you. And you need to win duels. You can't just be losing duels. And today, Chelsea need to do everything possible to win duels and to take the game, to make the game a dog's fight when Villa makes it so. And also technically, they should be able to control the game with and without the ball. It's an important thing. Albeit Chelsea needs a lot of changes by the summer. But this is my preview for Chelsea versus Villa today. My name is